Thomson Reuters, probably more familiar in their digital sort of branding colors. I think it was the Accountex before last where they pushed out their digital audit system that they had in the US and then launched it here in the UK. I guess as a bit of a competitor to the likes of Caseware, CCH, and of course Inflow. And now they're building out that suite. They're adding a whole bunch of integrations. Again, these are mainly US driven integrations. So they're adding in Trulion, Audit Site, and Field Guide. Trulion's a competitor to Data Snipper for people who are familiar with that in the audit world. So it allows you to extract information from invoices, compare that with the general ledger information that you've probably extracted, and then be able to tie that all together really quickly rather than having to manually do it. And it also allows you to do some work around extraction for lease accounting and revenue accounting, which are all changing in the UK as well. So this is good timing for Thomson Reuters because lots of accountants and auditors are looking at that platform as something that will be useful. And then Field Guide is, I guess, like a PBC system. So you can send a request out to your clients and get some information back. So some good stuff in there. And then they've added, of course, AI. Everyone's adding AI to their products. So they're adding that for some audit intelligence to help with how to focus in on high risk areas, and then just added some additional stuff around the methodology. So that's the latest update from Thomson Reuters and their audit ecosystem.
Wow. We don't see much of that though here in the UK.
No, it's the audit technology ecosystem has been expanding a lot. I guess it's been driven by early adopters like Inflow, MindBridge, etc., who came in on the data analytics slant and then have expanded their footprint into other things. And vendors have realized that outside of the big four, most audit firms are buying off the shelf products. And so we've seen a huge expansion as like the technology footprints of the large firms, the big four firms, and all of the kind of expansive stuff that they were doing around data analytics, extraction, and all sorts of other things have started to filter down. And it's been driven by people spilling out of these big firms generally and starting products of their own.
So we're quite fragmented, is what you're saying here.
It is. It's a slightly fragmented ecosystem insofar as there aren't that many integrations. So this is an interesting move from sort of Thomson Reuters, but it's not quite the same as the early days of like when Xero, for example, launched, because they had a very much like ecosystem centric approach to why they wanted to build their product. But what we're starting to see is ecosystem is becoming more important, and I guess firms are demanding now that they don't just want a standalone tool that does one piece of work really well, and then they have to take that out of that system and put it into somewhere else to utilize it or to file it or whatever. And so we are starting to see more and more of this kind of integration. But equally, there's a bit of a battle on people's hands there because quite a lot of the incumbent people like Caseware, like CCH, etc., are built around their own concept of having a suite of products that they build and design themselves. And they're coming up against the challenges of different mentalities around build it in one place and keep it all under the same roof, or actually have an ecosystem products that you can connect through into different things. And it's a little bit of a battle. And I find it incredibly frustrating personally because having been a user of Inflow and Circuit and a whole bunch of other great technologies for a long time, over 5 years, still don't have direct integrations into some of these products. And I think it is holding firms back, to be frank.